Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another week of me trying to be profitable and earn a payout. This week was the start of a new combine with my food, and it was pretty tough, not gonna lie. Feels like I'm always learning more things I need to improve, and the grind really just never stops. Been a tough quarter that I've been having, but persevering and staying adaptable is gonna help keep me in the game and get me to where I want to be and further. But yeah, let's just get into this week's trades. Alright, on the high time room we had this 1 hour BPL which we filled quite extensively, and we seem to have been trending upwards for a little bit now. With NWOG above it, it could definitely be considered a target for price to hit. And currently on the low time room we were reacting to a 15-minute order block, and we had LRLs to the sell side we could use as a target. But to be honest, I'm going to ignore it, as market can develop fresher points of liquidity we can use as a target for manipulation. And we actually got a really nice setup today. We had a 5-minute high-low discount zone with a 1-minute high-low golden zone optimal trading entry. And we also filled the 15-minute order block really nicely and developed some LRLs to the buy side on the 1-minute time frame. And because of all these strong confluences, I was really confident in the setup and took the trade without hesitation at my optimal trading time, which is around 11:20 AEST. And the entry was actually really clean. We were barely in drawdown, which was really nice, and the moves were pretty slow at first, but we ended up getting some nice displacement up. We did retest a little bit before getting a massive pump up to hit TP for a nice win of 440. Really clean day today. I'm really happy with the setup that I took. I followed all the backtesting that I did and it went exactly how I intended. And I think that what I could have done to make this trade better was taking it all the way up to NWOG, as NWOG is a really clear target for Mondays. And since we're getting a manipulation move anyways, it wouldn't be too ambitious to hit that TP. And I'm happy with the setup regardless though, no need to target insane RR. I'll probably consider leaving runners next time if a setup like this occurs. Alright, so the high time we had hourly imbalances below which were unfilled, and we could use this as a target. And looking at the low time room, we had this 15-minute order block which I wanted to see the reaction off of. We just swept the low time room internal high and left a wick from it, and we also developed LRLs to the south side which could be used as a clear target. And with this trade I was waiting for a setup to occur, and I did recognize that we could get an entry into a short, as we did have a wick development, and we also had LRLs to the south side developed which can be used as a target. And we also got a 1-minute change in state delivery, so I was planning to place my entry below the second low here, but oh, what the oh, it's I did wait. It entered my order like way higher than I expected. What? So yeah, we got entered into this position. I did enter with less leverage as the setup was less common for what I saw during backtesting, but it was still pretty cooked. We were first immediately getting some buying pressure, and we continued with this push up until market open hit, and we got absolutely domed with a market open volatility, giving us a quick loss of 330. What I could have done better was for today was honestly just not trading Tuesday. Like, I'm actually notorious for getting fucked in the ass on Tuesday, so I think I could, like, instead of just walking down the same dark alley over and over again, I just don't go down the dark alley. And I did journal and tell myself today that I would not take a trade, so I'm taking it as this is what I get for not having the discipline to stick to what I said. Recognizing the problem is only half of the process, and the next step is actually taking the action to stop that. So next time I won't even consider Tuesday as a possible trading day, as the mentality I went in with today was thinking I could potentially look for an entry, but that just wasn't the right way of thinking, and I understand that now. So yeah, that ends off Tuesday. Alright, going into today, we had this far order block we were retesting into and currently leaving a massive wick from, and we had a news event at 10:15 which caused a massive down move to occur, sweeping out all the accumulated liquidity from the prior sessions. And looking at the low time frame, I overall wanted to see market marinate further as we were still recovering from that move down, and I want to see how price reacts to these low time frame imbalances and see how liquidity gets formed, as I aim to go for a nice manipulation move setup as present. I was just waiting for the entry to be hit, and it was taking a while to be honest. We were continuing on the slow move up, gaining more liquidity to the sell side, which was just adding more confirmation in my bias. Though we didn't even get into it during the optimal trading time, which was weird, and the weirdness ended up causing a massive wave up, and we ended up hitting market open and we moved really strongly up and started to stall for a little bit within the 5-minute fair value gap, and I was thinking we could create an SMT if ES swept the high, but that didn't end up being the case as both charts swept out the high, giving us a loss of 430. And honestly, I didn't expect price to move in a V like this. It seemed like a very good setup for manipulation. I think what I could have done better is next time if my entry isn't hit near market open, I'll remove my entry and just wait, because my setups are more built on being entered during pre-market and riding the macro plus market open move. So not being hit by market open is an unnecessary risk for me to take. Another thing is updating my information on the charts constantly, so like flipping through the charts instead of just sitting on the low time room ones, because I don't notice the hourly formation. But honestly, alright with today. I took what I would have, and I honestly think I would have taken this trade every other time. Alright, looking at the high time frame, we did have some crazy news volatility, leaving big wicks to both sides, and we had a 4-hour order block below which we wicked into and respected, and we had this hourly fair value gap which was also respected for bullish. For the time, we mainly had this 15-minute fair value gap which we were retesting, and I did see that we could respect this imbalance and push down. And I wanted to see how the LRLs were developed so I could use it as a target for manipulation. Waiting for a setup, I saw that we developed LRLs to the south side, and we also had a 1-minute order block and that 15-minute fair value gap from earlier. And from these confluences plus the 1-minute high-low golden zone, I made for a good entry spot in my opinion, and I ended up entering into a short down to the recent low. Not targeting too far since we could move higher because of the hourly order block that's protecting the push down, but we did end up pushing higher and stalling, and we ended up having a I'm him moment where we didn't get stopped out, but we did break through the low time imbalances, creating a 1-minute and 3-minute breaker, and because of that I closed out early as price pushed to hit the equilibrium of these imbalances, giving us a quick loss of 100. And for what I could have done better, I think I could have waited for the market open move to play out. From what I saw, we had a seek and destroy of the high and the LRLs to the buy side before getting a nice move down, and this happened yesterday as well, where price also seek and destroyed my stop loss before running to hit TP, so I reckon next time I'll be more patient and watch price. I made the mistake of trusting the optimal trading time too much and treating the model as a set method when it needs to be more fluid and moldable, so I'll be more adaptable in the future. Alright, looking at the high time frame, we had a daily fair value gap which we retested yesterday with a 1-hour fair value gap which looked to be a clear target we could hit for a retest. On the low time frame, we had recently developed 15-minute and 5-minute confluences which were formed from a decent push up, and I would like to see some retest into the imbalances or just see how the chop develops, as if we develop LRLs in a 1 minute, we could look for a manipulation move. And waiting for a setup, market open delivered us higher, sweeping out the recent high, and the candle form leaving a wick, which was a good indication for bearish in my opinion. We continued lower, getting an admittedly weak change of state delivery on the 1 minute, and we also developed a 1-minute order block. And from this I wanted to snipe an entry, but I also placed an entry for continuation for if we got a nice push down, and that entry ended up being hit first. And though this entry got tapped from a wick, and we continued chopping from there. And I knew at this time we had conflicting low time frame imbalances, so I comboed the low time frame with the high time frame imbalances, and that made me decide to trust the shorts since we tapped that daily plus hourly fair value gap, and also left a wick from what I thought was a seek and destroy. And price was actually forming pretty nicely too, with me thinking we continued to get a push shut down, but we ended up getting a big bullish candle, and that ended up stopping us out for a loss of 350. And for what I could have done better, I think I could have been more in the moment with the low time frame and trusted a 15 plus 5-minute order block, as there was also a golden zone tap from the 5-minute high low range, and from that tap we left wicks which indicated the up move, and price ended up rallying to hit this TP. Then again, I was favoring the bears more because of the high time frame imbalances, and since we didn't get that low time frame change in state delivery on at least a 5-minute, perhaps I could have considered the up move more, since without a proper change in state delivery there's no substance to a down move occurring now. But it's alright, still learning a lot and putting in the work every day with the back testing and everything. Can't think badly about my trading if I'm just having a bad quarter. These tough times come and go, and all I gotta do is persevere and put in the work every day, and I know my time will come. Alright guys, ended off this week pretty cooked. Like I said before, it's been a really tough quarter and really just been struggling to consistently get those wins. It's tough because even though we put in positive effort like collecting data to back up my model and was reflecting multiple times throughout the week, sometimes it's really just not enough to claim that dub, and it's alright. Just because somebody else is popping off this week while you're not doesn't mean you're a bad trader. If you consistently put in that effort, I'm sure everything will work out and that our time is coming. One thing I will crack down more is my definition of progress though. I heard this quote recently which really made me rethink what I was doing. Don't talk about progress when your definition of improvement is fixing mistakes that you shouldn't be making in the first place. This made me really rethink what I was doing and the dumb mistakes I've been making and accepting. I can't accept that. I want to be better, and if I want to be better and move to that next level, I can't accept making those stupid mistakes that I've made before. I need to adapt and evolve. And another thing I need is cutting out those negative days. Tuesday I'm for sure cutting out, so now they're not going to be in the videos anymore, but something like today where my idea wasn't proven to be true with price. I don't need to force a setup. Just because my bias is wrong for the day doesn't mean I need to instantly change the bias and market entry for the opposite trade. It's alright to set out days because again, not every day is going to be that A+ perfect setup for you. Even if there's a setup and you missed it, it doesn't matter because not taking an L is better than forcing a setup that has no substance. But yeah, that's just my thoughts for this week. Thank you guys for staying through that. And if you guys are interested, check out me and my friends' Discord. It's just a chill place for everybody to talk and grow as traders, and we're on that same journey to become the traders we want to become, so join up if you guys are keen. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.